Introducing the Strike Windshield Trim for Goldwing. These are pretty easy to install, and I'm going to show you how to do it right now. So first you want to make sure that the surfaces are nice and clean. So I've wiped off the surfaces everywhere with some ammonia-based cleaner. And now that's nice and clean, what we're going to do is we're going to kind of pre-fit the lights. First of all, I like to unwind them. I find it a little bit easier to work with. And we're just going to take the end of the wire and put it back down in the nether regions under the seat. So you do need to take your seat off for this. If you need to know how to do that, we have a video down below we'll put a link to show you how to take the seat off. But most of you guys already know how to do that, but if you don't, we have a video for you. So let me get this taped up here. I'm going to have it just sit there for a moment. The wire goes to the top side. All right. Grab a couple pieces of tape. And at this point, we're just going to do a little trial fit, but not really fit it yet. You need to have this tip be about a 1/4 inch above this body line. And I'm just going to tape that on quickly. The reason why I'm not taping it down immediately right now is because as we run the wires, sometimes it's nice to have a little bit of space to wiggle room to move the wires if we need to. So we're just going to tape that on there. Like so. Go to the other side and do the same thing. Just about a 1/4 inch above that line. Run this back under the seat. Now this is also a good time just to make sure you know which side's right and which side's left. So I like to at this point just plug in the lights to the harness and back. This particular bike we have our distribution block. And so let me just plug those in quick and I'll show you how these work. And you want to just make sure that you get the right side right and the left side left. Now I'm just going to turn on the bike and we'll test those lights and see how they work. All right, they're on. So there's your right turn and your left turn. So you know which ones to plug them into. Now we're going to take off the mirrors and I'll show you how to route the wires. First thing you need to do to take off the mirror, there's a bolt right under here that you're going to take this out. And I'm going to use my cheaters now. All right. And then this plastic piece here, you just pull the back of it down a little bit and it'll slide down. And up in this area, up in here, this right here, you have to pull down on it and kind of out. And then it'll pop out. Like that. This little hook right here slides up in there. It's kind of a tricky little guy to get out of there. But once that's out, you have these two bolts right here. Those need to come out, and then we're going to wrap the mirror in some cloth and just let it hang on the side. And so these are just two bolts. I'm just going to loosen them here because you don't want the mirror to drop. Take the bottom one out first, just an 8mm bolt. And then let's see here. Set that aside. We're going to take this one. At this time, I'm going to wrap the mirror. So just in case you do drop it, you don't scratch the side of your bike. Just going to hold the mirror. Take that one out. We're going to do the same on both sides. The left side of the bike is just like this, just opposite. With those bolts out, now we're just going to take this. You'll see the mirror like that. Just wrap it. It has a wire, pull that wire out. And this can just kind of hang like that. It's got a good connector here. It's nice and strong, so you're not counting on the wires to hold it. All right. So there's a push pin right here you're going to take out. And I like to use one of these little tools like this or something of this sort and just push in this button right there just a little bit. You don't have to push it very far, just till it clicks. And then that'll pop right out. Be careful you don't lose it. And then just push this back so it looks like that and set it aside. Now the next thing is there's a Allen head right here. We're going to take that out. And this is going to get reused again, of course. And now we're going to flip around to the inside part where we get a few more bolts and little pins to take out. So to run the wires, we're going to feed it down around through the top, down through this bottom. So we need to separate the inner and outer panel here. And that's done. There's a bolt here, there's one up in here, and there's some push pins. So let me just start with those. And we're not taking any of the panels off. We're just going to loosen them up. This one up here you got to get with a... There we go. Just try not to scratch the fender. You might want to put a towel down on your fender or a fender cover. Take that out. And now we've got these pins. We've got this one down here, like that. We're just going to very gently push in just till it pops a little bit and pull it out. There we go, set that aside. I'm also going to take out this one and this one. You don't have to, but it's going to make it easier to show you how this all works. So we're going to pop these out too. Just be careful not to push it in too far because it'll fall into the abyss of the inner fairing. And then you got to be an archaeologist to go find it. There we go. Now that loosens that up quite a bit. Now we can get behind it and feed the wire through. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So I've got a flashlight here and I'm just shining it down here to show you the route that it needs to take. And as you can see, it's a pretty straight route. And I've got a really good trick to get the wire from up here to down there. So at any hardware store, you can buy these extra super large zip ties. These are great things to have if you have a Goldwing, because whenever you have to run a wire, you always have to go through somewhere, and they're nice and strong and they're flat so they can slide through things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide that up until it comes out the top here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. Again, I shine the light down a little bit so I can see where it needs to go, because there's a couple panels, and then as I look up in here, I'll be able to see it coming up through. And this works on both sides, and there you go. So you have that ready to go. Now I'm going to take the wire and tape the wire to it and just pull it right through. Okay, we're taped up. We're going to just pull that right through now. Make sure it's not kinked on top. All right, and then we're going to run it underneath under the engine. I'm going to show you how to run the wire. There's a little trick around the windshield. This is going to be the same on either side. I'm doing it on this side because it's a little better lighting. So we're going to show you here. So if you see the wire, how it comes around the outer fairing here, you want to get it to go underneath the outer fairing, in between the outer fairing and this little wing window here. And then there's the screw rivet here. We're going to go underneath that boss, and this is a little tricky, so you got to kind of push one down and pop the other one up and just get it to go underneath there, but don't pinch the wire so it comes out down there. We're going to use our light to find the path once again, coming up from the bottom with our handy dandy zip tie here. Let's get it started. You want to go inside this way like that, and then follow it up. The right side's a little trickier than the left side usually, but it's still about the same result here. There we go. So again, it's very handy to have a little flashlight of some sort to shine down there, because there's a lot of little areas that this can go to. And if you don't have this, trying to get the wire through, it can be a little bit tricky, especially on the right side. So as you can see, it's right through. Now we can tape the wire to it and pull it straight down. There we go. Simple. So pull that all the way out again, just like we did. Make sure it's not too tight up top. There we go. And now we're going to run that back under the engine. So once you've got the wire through here, you want to get it in between these two panels, between this one and this one here. As you can see, I've got the wire running in between there, behind this area here, because the bolt, of course, has to go through that. And then we're going to pull it back around the side of the engine, and it'll go over the top of the engine, like so. And then we're going to go underneath that side cover all the way around. And this will lead back up under the seat behind the side cover. I'll show you how to do that. The wire coming through here, we're going to tie that up later, but we're going to come around the back side. To get this back up under the seat, it's easiest if you remove this. This little bolt right here, which allows this to move out a little bit. And you can tuck it up under there. So I just kind of pull out on this a little bit. I'm going to get that wire tucked up underneath of it. Like that. And make sure you get the front kind of wedged up there good. It'll fit right under there. Maybe I'll use our handy zip tie again. Help shove it in there. There we go. Now it's hidden up and behind there. You'll just want to run the wire now back to the harness, whichever harness that you have, either the 48,000 or in this case the distribution block, which keeps things really nice and tidy. I'm going to tie that up a little bit right there, and then we will plug that in. All right, now all we got to do is go through and zip tie the wiring together, make sure that it's nice and tidy and it's not rubbing on anything, and we can stick the lights down and replace the mirror. All right, well this is the part, it's not really tricky, just take your time and get this positioned right. I'm going to peel this tape off here. So like I said before, you want to come up about 1/4 inch off of this line right here above the headlight, and kind of line it up with the body line right here. And what that's going to do then is in the back end, you want to make sure that the wire that you have on the back is above the outer fairing. And with that all said, then you can peel the backing off and adhere it. So I would start with maybe coming and pulling on the wire. You can see the wire, I'll be able to go right in here with it. And you can pull on that wire a little bit just to make sure you have enough slack. And then we're going to line that up about 1/4 inch above. This is where you take your time. And that'll come on top side here. And then once you got your position, go ahead and adhere it. All right, got the second one on there. We're in good shape. Let's just double check, make sure everything still works the way it's supposed to. So with everything stuck down and lined up nice, let's just turn the bike on, make sure everything works as it's supposed to, which it is. We've got turn signals right and turn signal left. Okay, we're in good shape. So with that, we can get to putting the mirrors back on. Just you want to watch the wires and make sure we don't pinch any wires while we're putting the mirrors back on. So we're going to put all these pins back in where they need to be. Again, you just push the pin out. That one goes in this hole up here. So once you've got it ready, you put it in the hole and listen for the snap. Just like that. One more down here. Make sure it goes through both panels. There you go. That one's tight. Then we'll replace the 2 bolts that we took out. Line up the holes. The top one, you got to use your So make sure you get them all back together and it's nice and secure on both sides. So I've got the mirrors replaced, all the wires are run. Now you have to put this little piece back, this little trim piece. It's a little bit tricky sometimes. The way I do it is I come in here with this and push this top lip in with my finger there, and I kind of work it up this way, whoops, like that, and make sure this one goes underneath of this, and then it slides up, and then the bolt can just get stuck in the bottom. All right, there you have it. So as you can see, it's a pretty simple installation, no special tools. It's pretty straightforward with a couple little tricks, but you can do it. And if you want to know more about this particular product, you can go to goldstrike3d.com or visit your local Honda dealer or Goldstrike dealer and ask for the Strike Windshield Trim. I'm Ken with Goldstrike. Thanks for watching.